Hi everyone, good morning. Thank you for this opportunity to speak to all of you. Thank you GDP. I'm just checking my slides. So my name is Suresh. I work with different companies in Indonesia and Southeast Asia to solve the data challenges that these companies are facing. For today's presentation, I'll be speaking in English. My Bahasa is still very nascent, so please bear with me. So in my role, I meet different companies every day. I meet the major telcos like Telkomsel, Axiata, I meet Tokopedia, I meet Gojek, and I work closely with GDP Ventures also with their Cascos, Blibli, all their companies. The main question whenever I meet these companies is, we have a lot of data we collected from our customers, and how can we use this data to understand who our customer is and what they will want to buy from us. It's a single question, but it's a complex question. The reason is this. If you see this slide, these are all the search keywords which all of us have used in 2017. On googlesearch.com. Can you tell me what was the most searched keyword in the last year? I'll give a guess. Donald Trump? Or some climate issues, ISIS? It's very difficult to guess. But the answer is on this slide. You see on the, I think I don't have the clicker here, but on the yellow box, on the top right hand, on the left side, fidget spinner. Fidget spinner was the most searched item in the internet world last year. So this tells us that the data which we have or our impression that we know our customer is not sufficient. Whatever data we have should be changed every day. And the reason is this. Customers today come from different channels. They use different devices. Today we search something on our mobile phone, but then we don't buy on our phone. We go to the store to make a purchase. Or we use more than two devices. We have a tablet, we have a desktop, we have a mobile phone. So which device are we using to search a product, and which device are we using to buy the product? For today's presentation, I'll just focus on these three main customer journeys which people take to end up buying a product. And these are the three journeys which every company is trying to solve. Multiple channels. We as users use YouTube, Google search, Facebook, Twitter, etc., to understand a product. But we end up buying using a channel which nobody has thought that we'll use. So which channel is most effective for a company to reach to the customer? Multiple devices. How many devices does each one of us have? Maybe 2 to 3 or 4, but this number is growing. So how can we use this data to reach the customer on the right device? And the last interesting problem is different worlds. Amazon has started this, taking the inventory of book management to the internet world, where they started selling books and they started selling everything now. But still there are shops in all these malls. So people search for the products in the internet space and then they go to the store in the offline world. So how can we bridge these two worlds? And what are the solutions which Google is providing to solve these three challenges? The first one is a simple one. The multiple challenges problem, where we as users search stuff on all channels. We go on YouTube, search Facebook, Twitter, etc. to know about a product. Let's take about a deal that is coming, the last Singles Day deal yesterday that has happened, about the products. But then we make the purchase on a different channel. So how can a company like say Lazada can send us a promo code on a particular channel that we are searching the product on, or not on all other places where we are on? This is important. So today if we see, a journey that a user has seen a particular ad on YouTube, then he went on to Google search.com or Bing or any other search tool, but then he hasn't actually made a choice to buy the product, and eventually after a few times seeing the ad, he goes on lazada.com to make the buy. So can we say that it is because he searched directly, he made the buy? We cannot discount the previous interactions he had with the product on the internet world. So we need a solution that can stitch the customer journey in this pattern, that a user has seen an ad across different channels and then he eventually made the buy. But how can you say which of these actually helped him make the buy? That's where Google is actually trying to solve the problem by attributing the performance of each of these channels, telling like, hey, this particular channel which has a weightage of 19%, it could be a YouTube channel, this is impactful to bring you the right customers. Google is investing heavily in the AI space, and it is using this information to understand the user movement across the internet era on all the channels, and then to map and save the high performing channel. This helps companies to reduce their marketing dollars to target customers on the right channels. Let's look at a more complex environment, which is my favorite one, multiple devices. So today, everyone knows, it's like an old story that people are consuming the data using mobile phones. This has been happening for the last 8 years or so. But now the question is, how many times are we using this gadget in a single day? So how many times I see my phone in a given day? Let's say I'm awake for like 10 hours a day. So do you think I'm seeing it like 2 times an hour, 20 times? How many are seeing it like, let's say, 40 times a day? Just raise your hands. 60 times? 100 times? I think everyone is seeing fewer than 100 times, right? Yeah. But people are consuming the data more than our imagination. Today we are using our gadgets to consume the data like anything. 150 times a day usage of mobile phone is a warning to every company that you shouldn't use mobile as a channel, but it should be a mobile first as a channel. So all your spend on mobile should be counted very well. Now let's make the problem slightly bigger. Instead of desktop and mobile, what is happening? What revolution is happening now? There are many other devices which are coming into play. The smart devices, Amazon Echo, Google Home, Google Mini, quite a few devices are coming, Apple iWatch. People are using and will use these devices to make any purchase in the future. So these are all the devices which are coming up now. So today, on average, can you guess how many unique smart devices each one of us have? Like 2, for sure 2. We have 4 devices, each one of us. That's the stats. Unique smart devices each one of us have. But by 2020, this number is increasing. Each one of us will end up having more than 4 devices by 2020. And the number is 20. We will have 20 unique smart devices to consume data, and that means a lot. So if a user is using 20 devices, how can a company reach to that particular user? Which device will they use to reach to the customer? It is very challenging and it's very complex. So let's take an example of a retailer or a food company or a Starbucks or even e-commerce company, where they send ads to the user, say to me, on my mobile phone and on my desktop. So I see an e-commerce company ad, say Tokopedia's ad on my desktop and my mobile phone, the question to the company is that how can they know that I made a purchase of $300 on my phone today, and after 10 days, $300 purchase using my desktop, and say that I am a high valued customer to the company, that I spent $600. And in future, I will make the purchase using 20 devices. How can they know it's a single user who used all these different devices to make the purchase happen? If this question is not answered or not solved, a company wouldn't be able to know who are the high valued customers to them or who are paying more to them. All the banks, all the e-commerce companies will face this challenge. So the solution is simple. We need a common point across all these devices to identify it is the same user. Google is trying to invest in this space heavily and using its own data which users have given for ads personalization. The consent has been provided. With this data from YouTube, Gmail, Google Search, etc., Google has a scale of 1 billion users on each of these properties. It can stitch a user across unique devices and say it's the same user. That will help a company to understand how many users are there, unique users across all devices, and how much are they spending, who are the high valued customers. Now the last challenging area, which is a growing concern, especially for banks, for example. They spend a lot of money on the internet space to acquire users, but we go to their outlets to make the purchase. Telcos do that. They advertise iPhone sales, Samsung sales online, but we go to the store to make a purchase. So how can they understand how many people are going to the store because they have seen an ad online? Otherwise, the marketing teams are challenged because of the spend they're making. And there is no way we can understand whether we are bringing the right users to the stores or not. Today, 3 out of 4 searches which happen on our phones will help a user go to a local store. So if you go on a mobile phone and search for Louis Vuitton bag, or if you search for a top-up package, or I want to buy a charger, if the result shows that you can buy it from, say, a Telkomsel store in this particular mall, then the user is likely to go to that store. So our search, internet is driving the user to that particular outlet. So it is important for the brand or for the company to send the message to the user when they're searching on their devices, even for offline sales. Even we know that when we go on the internet space or we want to make any purchase, even when we are at the store actually, we don't buy the product, we go on the internet to check whether there's a cheaper product online or whether this product has a better review. So these two worlds are merging together. People searching online and buying from the stores. So how can a company understand it's the same user who has seen a particular ad or content online and he went to the store to make the purchase? Here Google is trying to invest in its own AI capabilities and also again leveraging its own data which is there where customers gave for their personalization. So using users' location history and their interactions online, Google can map whether a user has seen an ad online and then they have went to the store to make the purchase. And this is a solution which is helping many retailers, many telcos, and many banks all over the world to bridge these two worlds together. And for this solution to happen, a company should have a lot of data about the customer, should be able to understand the customer movements from the moment he has seen an ad or has browsed a website till he went to that particular store. Google so far has helped companies connect to more than 5 billion store visits for all the customers. The company completely ensures the privacy of the user, so it never reveals that this is the particular user who went to that particular store, but it gives an aggregated number of people. So it tells a company that in this month, 10,000 people visited your store because they have seen your ad online. And that is helpful for the marketing team, for the digital marketing team, to tell their other leaders in the company that our marketing is working to bring people to these retail outlets. So these three problems which every company is facing, and every company will fall into one of these buckets, and you need advanced solutions to solve these problems. One solution stack which is there is the entire integrated solution stack which Google is using today. From the moment users have pushed their ads on Google Ads or any other solution which Google has, Google Marketing Platform, double-click solutions, it will work with the company to take the data from their digital touch points, the mobile apps or websites, etc., club the data with their existing transactional data or CRM data, and then identify whether the user is using the right channel, whether he is using a particular device to come to your product, or is making a purchase offline. One company that has done this very well is Adidas.
At Adidas, collaboration is one of the things that we focus on as a company overall to make sure that we're all working more closely with each other. We talk a lot about the consumer journey no longer being linear. It's very difficult to know when the consumer is going to come in contact with your message. Because of that, it makes it much harder to deliver the right message at the right time. One thing we do a lot more now is we use data to help us in a singular environment like Google Marketing Platform, and you're able to see audience insights and information you can share across all those departments from a brand perspective, from an e-commerce perspective, from a retail perspective. What we found is if we're sharing insights, we know when someone should be receiving a brand message versus a product message, when they're thinking about buying or when they're actually ready to purchase.
Being in brand marketing for so long, there was this initial pushback on data and the science behind it because it was an art. But what we're seeing now is the ability for data and insights to really inform the art of storytelling. It allows us to understand the impact that we're having in real time.
Real time is incredibly important to us. We want to let people know that the shoe that was on our basketball player who just had a triple-double is our shoe. And so it's important for us to push media out there very quickly. Google Marketing Platform helps us do that, right? You have a very easy-to-use platform where you already have audience built in. To see both the usual brand lift and brand affinity lift go up, and to see traffic and sales both increase across the board was great for us.
Starting every meeting with data and insights, that's something that we want to take outside of just the marketing organization and really infuse it across our culture here at Adidas.
When I meet companies, I usually meet the marketing team or the IT team, and then they ask like, hey, this is a challenge. We have a lot of data, and then we want to use this data to reach to the customer. When we propose a solution, we tell them that this is not your department problem. This is your company problem. The problem comes not from your team, comes from your CEO level. Data is the crux of every decision which you should make in your company. So you should involve both your sales, your marketing, and your IT teams to leverage the data that is flowing into your organization to make decisions. That's exactly what Adidas has done, where they have pulled up all the different teams in an organization to use the data to make any decision which their company has taken. So the solution can be segregated into different ways. One, how your company can organize the teams to leverage the data and have the right tools in place to use this data to make meaningful decisions. I've been going around meeting different companies in Indonesia recently, and we have applied this simple strategy to find the tiger teams inside an organization, to pull the data together and spread the data across the organization to see the impact of their media spend or impact of their marketing spend, to find how the company is bringing the right users and selling more products. That's pretty much it, which I wanted to share today. And thanks everyone for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Mr. Suresh.